before, it got to us a month later, so I'm excited. Yep, there's a trail right there and no getting around it. Yep, super grateful that they were dumb enough to video
online.
it.
What kind of a sick killer would do that? They're proud of it. They're posting it.
It's a badge of honor.
Well, they can tell that to Satan, because I'm pretty sure that's where they're headed. Guys, not only that, the lying. Gary Davidson, haven't you seen in trial? You got the crime, but then
one of the guys supposed to have been her best friend, and he had went on family trips with us. He'd been to the family house. We all been on trips together. Just good time. And I never thought that he could be that low to do my child like that.
Have you heard from him since all of this happened?
Yeah, he came to the house 4 days in a row until he found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
So let me understand this, Mrs. Robinson. The friend, Clea Cook, comes to your house several times after they get home from their vacation.
Wow.
But as soon as the true cause of death comes out, this dislocation, atlas luxation of the spinal cord, then he suddenly quits showing up. And I bet you haven't heard from any of them ever since you learned the true cause of death, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Because they're all lying.
Yes.
And they know that you know. What I don't understand is why the case is not moving forward. What's going on with the Mexican authorities? Take a listen to Our Cut 14, our friends at WSOC.
Investigators in Mexico now say they believe that Robinson was killed. It's significant because her parents said that they were originally told that she died of alcohol poisoning.
So if they know she was killed, she was murdered, what's the holdup, Gary Davidson?
The holdup is extradition. Extradition is a process where individuals are summoned through official channels between governments to return to the place where they are alleged to have committed a crime. And in this case, the Mexican government is seeking extradition of the individual who is accused of actually undertaking the attack on the victim. So there's a process, a court process that has to be followed by the United States government, and ultimately there is a treaty between the United States and Mexico.
Gary, I've done extraditions. It's really easy. It's not a long process. We in the U.S. have to arrest these POCs, these so-called friends on a girl's getaway. We got to arrest them. We take them to court, and there's just a couple of questions. You get their fingerprint, and you say, "Are you Gary Davidson?" And if the person says yes, it's all over because you have a signed governor's warrant from Mexico. And all you need to do, you don't have to establish guilt or innocence. All they have to do is establish, are you Gary Davidson? And if you tell me no under oath, I compare your fingerprints, I see that it's you, and bye-bye. You got a chain on your hands, and you're on the way to Mexico. That's all there is. It's not a fact-finding investigation in court. It's very simply, are you Gary Davidson? That's all I want to know. That's all an extradition is. Then you send the person to the venue, the jurisdiction, to be tried. Isn't that right?
In most instances, that is correct. Of course, we're assuming that the U.S. government has been able to locate the individual that they're seeking, which is not something you can always assume.
Gary, they're all over Facebook. How hard can it be?
Come on, Nancy.
I think by now it would have been accomplished, but I'm not behind the scenes, so I can't answer beyond that.
Ms. Robinson, he's right. Gary Davidson is correct. Ms. Robinson, what are they telling you?
Well, they're not telling me anything. They're not even telling me whose name is on the arrest.
Wow.
But we know there's a warrant out there, and we're hoping that they relocate them real soon. We haven't heard any more.
Do you know where these girls are?
No. I have no idea.
Well, they went to college with her. They could afford a Mexican vacation. They had to have a passport. We've got to know where they live.
They stopped the passport. They know where each one of them live. All of them have is somewhere hiding. None of
So then, okay, so then that goes back to our first original question about who name was on the arrest warrant, because according to them, even the mama don't know who they had the arrest warrant for. Like, we were just assuming that it was Dejanay, right? It could be for anybody. It could be for anybody. So far, we have, according to Nancy's report here, and I like her report because she's got, it's not just her. She got a bunch of credible witnesses or people on her panel. I'm very impressed with pedigree here. It's really nice. But again, now we're back to square one with questioning who was the one who has been detained or arrested, or even if someone has been arrested. Yes, Superstar Graham says we have to keep the name out until it happens. Yes, and that's what we're doing here. Things are slowing down on it, definitely, for sure. So come on, Mexico. Yeah. So are we waiting for Mexico to ask for them, the rest of these people? What's going on? They're staggering so it can go into a cold case. Yeah. I hope not. But, this kind of thing has happened. It's so common. I think, you might be on to something, Poetic Kills, might be on to something. New name here. Sharada Niche says, Nancy is nobody's fool. Yes, she's on it too. As soon as they start trying to feed her a bologna sandwich, she's like not having it. And I like how she's, stopping it right away before they even get a chance to finish painting this narrative. She cuts it off and gets right back to the subject for sure. All right, here, see. Cookie says Fed paperwork always take a long time. Yeah, I just feel confused about how we, feel like we took 2 steps forward, then all of a sudden this takes us back. Like, I thought that we was already past that paperwork, but obviously not. Superstar Graham says, why would they turn it into a cold case? So it could be another, woman that's, cold case, because we got so many of them that no one's really putting attention to this whole femicide thing. Nobody. So Cassandra Hopper says, it is clear they committed multiple crimes in Mexico, and it's time to extradite these criminals. Yes. But Cassandra, we only have heard that there's just a warrant for one. There was a warrant, one arrest, so I don't know. We have a few more minutes out of this video, and we'll see what happens at the end. But so far, it doesn't sound like anybody's really detained or anything like that. I think we're still kind of, I don't know. I don't think anybody's been detained.
As soon as the true cause of death comes out, this dislocation, the atlas luxation of the spinal cord, then he suddenly quits showing up. And I bet you haven't heard from any of them ever since you learned the true cause of death, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Because they're all lying.
Yes.
And they know that What I don't understand is why the case is not moving forward. What's going on with the Mexican authorities? Take a listen to Our Cut 14, our friends at WSOC.
Okay. Investigators in Mexico now say they believe that Robinson was killed. It's significant because her parents said that they were originally told that she died of alcohol poisoning.
So if they know she was killed, she was murdered, what's the holdup, Gary Davidson?
The holdup is extradition. Extradition is a process where individuals are summoned through official channels between governments has to be followed by the United States government, and ultimately there is a treaty between the United States and Mexico.
Gary, I've done extraditions. It's really easy. It's not a long process.
Right, we heard that.
That's all I want to know. That's all an extradition is. Then you send the person to the venue, the jurisdiction, to be tried. Isn't that right?
In most instances, that is correct. Of course, we're assuming that the U.S. government has been able to locate the individual that they're seeking, which is not something you can always assume.
Gary, They're all over Facebook. How hard can
I think they just looped
soft, delicious bread. You
Okay,
expect
so
to Sara Lee.
we're about done with that. Wow. Thank y'all for getting through this with me. 48 minutes of this here interview. And I don't know about you, but I feel like we're still back at the same question. Has anybody been detained from this here? Like, what is really going on? So, and I appreciate the comments here. Let me find that one that what you're seeing here, Poetic Kells. That they're staggering so it can go into a cold case. Because we do have a ton of cold cases out there. We've been talking about the names of other victims and stuff like that. And this is probably how this happens when, nothing's going on and it turns into a cold case, turns into a cold case. Yeah. Super sad, super sad. And even just today, I got on a line. Like I said, I've been trying to make sure we try to include other victims in this so we could get justice for all the people in the past that, the old cold cases, the existing cold cases. So if we keep talking, then we could warm up those cold cases. We can warm up those cold cases by going back and looking, especially now with more advances and stuff like that. There may be some things on some of those cold cases that we could bring to light and actually change some of those cold cases to hot cases and get some much needed justice. Superstar Graham says, I don't understand the cold case. Like a case that goes cold. Is that what you mean? You don't understand? Like, say there's a case, when it first come out, like how everybody was excited about this, not excited, but alert about this case. After so much time goes by, they will determine that the case is cold. So it gets put on the back burner. It gets put in the file and, collected until, somebody's excited about it again and try to do something. So let's see here. Cold case, Kanika Jenkins cold case, Tamla Horsford cold case. Thank you so much for speaking those names out here. This is what we're talking about. These are now considered cold cases. Kanika Jenkins, when she first came out, we were all talking about it. And then now it's been so long that it's cold, nobody even speaks of it. It's cold, and these were sad femicides also. So yeah, it's important that we keep talking about this. And let me go ahead and I'm going to read the definition of this whole term femicide too, so we can always stay focused on the true points and stuff like that, and not get distracted. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link too, in case somebody want to explain what they were saying. Sometimes, like I said before, things get lost in the text, and we may be saying the wrong stuff. And what I'm gonna do I know when we first got started here, we was all into sage and being positive and all that good stuff. So since this is kind of a sensitive subject, and I know we're all here for help and stuff, I want to burn a little bit of sage just to get a little bit of good energy going in here, since we kind of walking by faith right now, for real. And we want to give this moment to these cold cases, Kanika Jenkins and Tamla Horsford, and for good energy and good spirits to come on us for all of this stuff here. Also, it goes unsolved. Yeah, Superstar Graham, you're from Australia, right? So maybe the term or that actual word, y'all may not use that there. So yes, it goes unsolved, basically. Exactly right. Here we go for that. I never heard of cold case before. Yes. And thank you too for your question like that too. So we see that we all on the same page here. It goes unresolved and never spoke of again. Yeah. The other thing too. Cookie says usually cold cases equals no suspects or video evidence leading to suspects. Yeah, or also too, I'm going to show y'all something. I want to show y'all something. First, let me just do that. I'm going to read the definition of the femicide because all this is kind of tying in together, right? Because women have been being unalive for so long, and these abusers have been getting away with it. They've been getting away with it because of how society is set up to protect the men and not really give much regard to women's, So we were even saying here, does women's lives matter? Because a lot of this, is focused at us, and no one's speaking up for us. So that's why we have, Poetic Kells here, making sure that we continue to put these names out of these other victims so they don't go cold and never get heard of again. So let me see here. The definition of femicide. All right, so let me share the screen too so we can see. And I did drop the link, I believe I did. Did I drop it? Let me do it again before I forgot. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to go over here and pin it. So if anybody wants to come up and give a testimony too, we've had a lot of success with people coming up to give their testimony on this whole thing. All right, so here we go with femicide. It says femicide. Wikipedia says femicide or femicide is a hate crime which is broadly defined as the intentional killing of a woman or girl because they are female. But definition, and this is new because last time we were reading, we had a different definition up here. Let me see here. This is a Wikipedia definition. But definition of it varies depending on culture, context. In 1976, the feminist author Diane E. H. Russell first defined the term as the unaliving of females by males because they, where am I at? Because they, where's my at? Oh, because they are female. Others broaden the meaning of the term by including the unaliving of females by females. In the main Central American countries where organized crime is prevalent issues, the term femicide is used in reference to the violent unaliving of women and girls, which are frequently perpetrated by gang members. A crime which is primarily committed in order to stoke fear and compliance among civilians. Yes. All right. So we got that definition there. And the reason why I wanted to put it out there is because they made a point to mention that it was a femicide. I got I'm behind. Let me catch back up here. All right. Okay. Did that. There's that link there for anybody want to come up. Oh, an American. Okay. All right. Oh, I see. All right. Superstar Graham says, but this can't be a cold case because it's on video. But I'm sure she's meaning because, like, if no one gets arrested for it, then the case can grow cold. Let's see here. Cookie 4XO says, and can't be a cold case because there's an arrest warrant already. Teresa Edwards, hey, Teresa, let's get them detained, arrested before we worry about a cold case. Somebody knows where these people are. Ain't no group of Black people been able to hide forever. We got to keep the noise going. Yes, thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. And that's what we're trying to do here. And it is starting to feel like it's a struggle because you got the people that's trying to shame you for even talking about it, saying that you're capitalizing on it. And I want to say, yes, we are capitalizing. We're capitalizing to make sure that we can get justice for the other women that this is happening by. So yes, we are capitalizing on this because people are talking about it. So that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take advantage of this so we can get more justice for the other women who have not received justice and the other victims who have not received justice. Like we saw John Q told us about, one of the cases that was for a young man who was missing and stuff too. So Poetic Hell says, no suspect in custody and videos magically vanish. That's true. Then we get distracted because they start telling us that there's other videos and things like that. So that's why it's important that we stay focused on the real information and keep putting that out. Cookie Forex says that Tamala case hurts my soul. I don't think I know that case. I'm just going to type it up real quick. All right, see what we get here. Here's something that's just 5 minutes. We're going to take a peek at this. Uh-oh, this video is no longer available. All right, I'm going to find that video and see about what's going on with her. Anybody tell me what's going on with it? Anybody know? I'm so glad social media has been on this. Me too. Me too, for real. All right, here's a story on her. I'll just read it then. All right, I'm going to share the screen here. And this is... all right. So it says the death of Tamala Hosford on November 4th, 2018. Tamala Hosford was discovered unalived in the backyard of a Cummings, Georgia home where she had been attending a slumber party with other football moms. The night before, the 40-year-old was, so this is an older woman. The 40-year-old was a mother of 5. The Forsyth County Sheriff Department initially ruled the unaliving an accident. Oh, so we don't even, there's nothing, okay. Wow. Yeah, so that's why people are having these feelings like that. It's because, we could probably just continue to go on and on and on with more and more people that this has happened to that's all of a sudden now a cold case. Teresa Edwards says, do we really expect the authorities to have anything solved quickly in the Black community? Yeah. Good point. So we just have to stay patient, y'all, and do what we've been doing all these years. Pray. All right. And Poetic Hell says, no, I don't expect authorities to have a speedy solution in the Black community. And that's why Poetic Hell is, making sure that we keep talking about this too, because we know that there's no speedy solution, for us in our community. And that's why we're doing this stuff, so we can stay focused on it, to make sure that, we start to change that narrative, change it by changing our mindsets too. Superstar Graham says, I wonder if we can start an investigation group. That's kind of like what we're doing here by taking this material and kind of dissecting it together. We're coming up with different perspectives. Everybody's offering something to the community here. And, we're coming up with stuff like the whole gender thing. All these different things are coming up, and it's making a big impact on us. Big impact. Superstar Graham says, maybe we can find them. Yeah. I know, because somebody has to know where they're at. Hey, M. Mac. We are advocates for justice. Exactly. We are. And I appreciate all of you guys. I believe the key is getting Khalil Cook in for questioning. He has the most emotionally invested in Quella. Yeah, but he seemed to be the most ruthless, like, right? The most cold. Superstar Graham says, how can we find them? I know they probably have different phones and all that stuff, so we don't have a way to track them. I guess by following the people that they know, once they get an opportunity to get access to their old phones and stuff, they could probably track through the contacts and all that stuff, Tanya Carter says, I'm a little behind. Your channel is not capitalizing off of this story. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, you are not getting this cash app like other channels. I just got started here. I'm not, on just 2 weeks ago, I had like 979 subscribers and 800 watch hours. I wasn't doing anything on this channel. And then I started to, I felt something about this story and I started doing these lives on it. And, things have been growing, but my passion is to help people. My passion is to help people. I have a background of nursing, more than 30 years in nursing. Nursing is all I've ever done. And I've always said that 90% of nursing is caring. So it's my passion that I care. And I know we all know somebody who is a cold case, or know somebody who has a person in their life who's a cold case, so want to be able to lift our voices so we can help people capitalize off of this story. Yes. Yeah, people, there was a comment. Somebody said that, and super sad. Teresa Edwards says, even if they have one, where is everybody else? You're telling me nobody, no families or friends have seen them? How are the others hiding? Who knows? I would say that since they probably felt so comfortable by being allowed to be able to come back, and that, feeling like they probably don't have to be arrested here because they did to commit the crime in another country, maybe part of them is feeling kind of relaxed and they just kind of went wherever they were going to go freely since nobody was really watching them. So I don't know. Tanya Carter said, isn't John Q doing an investigation as he got Kanika Jenkins, misspelled her name, sorry. Let's go over see what John Q is doing or said on there. If nothing else, we could at least watch his Kanika Jenkins report. YouTube. Yes, to shed some light on these cold cases so we can start warming them up. Yes, here. Let's see, John Q. And let's see what he's got for Miss Tanika. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's one here. And since her name has been mentioned a few times, I'm going to just read a few more of these comments, and then we're going to take a look at this one. It's a 40-minute long video. And so y'all know we do long stroking here to really get down to the meat of stuff. I believe the feds know exactly where they are or are likely to be. I agree. I think they're just waiting, to finish compiling their case and stuff. Like they feel like, we don't need to pick them up just yet. We're going to build the case, because a lot of times if you probably rush to an arrest, that's how a lot of times charges and things don't stick. So I'm sure they're building their case to be, make sure it's a solid case. I don't suppose, or I don't think that this could go cold because of so much media. But again, look at these other cases. I'm pretty sure Miss Jenkins' case, Kanika Jenkins' case was, out there because I feel like I kind of remember hearing something about this a few years ago. So I'm sure everything starts off hot and passionate, But, after a couple of weeks go by, people be moving on to the next thing, and then it's always some next person under there too. Max says, I don't believe it's an issue of finding them. It's about gathering information and doing it correctly. It's about getting a solid conviction and the prosecution withstanding all appeals. I agree with you, Max. Yes, I agree. Poetic Hell says, how much information do they need when the whole world saw the video? Yeah. John Q is not any of the original members who was invested in the Kanika Jenkins case. Who else do you know about? Tell us. So he ain't credible. Well, we haven't seen this video yet. I appreciated all of the offerings that he gave when he came up on this platform. Let's see. Teresa Edwards says, yes. How much info do they need? Can't prosecute without having a personal to prosecute person. Yes. All right. Tanya Carter says, remember they are free citizens at this point. There has only been one warrant issued. Exactly. And then there was another story that said it was 2. So I don't know. All right. So let's see here. Okay, here's one that's only 23 minutes, which he's got a few. Let me just share the screen and we're going to scroll down and we'll pick one that's not too long since we already been going for an hour and a half, and then I'll be wrapping it up shortly. All right, so here's John Q's page here. And all right, so it's a lot of Kanika Jenkins here. Here's Kanika Jenkins' case. More here. And 40, 23. Oh yeah, he's got a lot of work here. So he's done some research. All right, so I'm going to do this one here. This one's only 17 minutes. And it's Kanika Jenkins' case. We have some answers. This is part 1. All right, what we got over here? Superstar Graham says, I'm seeing Kanika Jenkins. I don't really see that at a crime. I don't really see that as a crime. Superstar Graham says, just my opinion. I read the autopsy report and nothing came up that was fishy. Tanya Carter says, they have said someone locked her in the freezer. Oh, okay. I do remember this. That she was, let's see here. Regurgitated information. Okay, let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up because I want to at least view the video first before I just play it. And then, especially since I feel like we got some sensitive energy here. Poetic Kells, like maybe you have some more information or some more leads that you want us to check out before going here, since you had some concerns here. Let's see, John Q is not any of the original members who was who was invested in the Kanika Jenkins case. This here is these YouTube videos he has here from 3 years ago, and there's quite a few. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's just somebody that you didn't know about, but this is a lot of information here. 3 years ago, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11 videos dedicated to her. So no one else showed her on camera though. Yeah, I'm not sure if we should do this one. Thank you, Tanya. I mean, no one else was on camera but her. Okay. All right. So I sure appreciate y'all. You know, I'm just going to wrap this up, and I thank everybody for coming to support and to stay positive about this thing, all that good stuff. All right. Superstar Graham says we should look at the case in Mexico with the carbon monoxide. Okay, we'll do that. We'll set that one up for tomorrow. And I sure thank y'all for feeding me the seeds and all these good things too. And I look forward to seeing y'all in another video. Thank you so much. Love y'all. Peace.